Pernicious anemia is where your body actually cannot physically absorb iron. And so your blood cells literally just can't absorb the iron and keep it in there. So when I was really, really little, 1, 2, 3 years old, I was sleepy all the time, bags, just tired, exhausted all the time. So they finally got me in, they diagnosed me with anemia. I was up at Primary Children's, University of Utah, 2 or 3 times a week having my blood drawn. Totally ironic, you know, you're having already enough problems with blood, but we're going to take your blood 2 or 3 times a week. It got to be so bad that my veins would collapse, so they had to bring in geriatric specialists to actually get my blood vessels to draw blood because my blood vessels would collapse. Still have problems with that to this day. Also terribly afraid of needles. But they just determined that my body just can't absorb so I just have to eat a lot of red meat, try to eat things with high iron. Taking iron doesn't help, so the pills, everyone's like, oh, just take some iron. It doesn't absorb, so it just doesn't do it. Trying to keep the vitamin D up so that whatever it can absorb will. So my anemia, my blood levels are always just this below normal. So here's normal range, here's me right there all the time. Any bruises that I get are 3 or 4 weeks to heal, not just regular. Sometimes I even have them for months. The slightest bump on my arm could be a bruise that's, you know, the whole arm instead. Almost like a hemophilia type thing going on. It just will not heal, will not do things. Don't even know what I've touched. Bruise. I look at my body, I'm like, oh, there's another one. Don't even know what's going on. The biggest problem is the tired and the exhaustion because anemia carries oxygen. The blood vessels, red blood cells, carry oxygen to your brain, to the rest of your body to make it work. So without being able to absorb the oxygen and stuff with the iron and carry that oxygen to everywhere, it makes you really exhausted all the time and pale. Everyone looks at you like you're a ghost. And you can just get really tired. And so combine that with the Hashimoto's, combine that with the IC, combine it with, you're just tired all the time. And it just makes it really hard. Plus, taking iron hurts the other conditions. So any iron I do eat, whether it be liverwurst or beef or anything like that, is really, really hard on eating and digesting and stuff. And so it makes it hard to keep the iron levels up there. I was so bad that I went in to have my gallbladder removed, and I was so bad they had the OB/GYN talking to me that day about my hysterectomy that happened 3 weeks later because I was so anemic that they almost didn't do the surgery. And they just said, here, and so that keeps me at a fairly stable level. I don't drop as much anymore because I don't have the bleeding issues as much as I used to without the uterus, but it still makes life interesting. And a lot of people don't realize that. They just think they're anemic, they just think they're tired. A lot of doctors don't think to test for the autoimmune disorder where it doesn't allow you to absorb it. And so there's not really any treatment for it other than sometimes they can try transfusions if you're too bad and help supplement that way. Eating a good healthy diet of iron in it, spinach, etc. that you can get. Vitamin D helps somewhat. They can give vitamin D shots if your body is not able to do it that way. But it's a lot of just living with it sometimes.